standards-based learning system, teaching and grading is directly connected to the standards. In Fond du Lac, teachers have worked together to examine the standard and determine what students need to be able to do in order to demonstrate that they have learned the standard. Teachers use this information with students to help them understand what they know and what they need to improve.
So what benefits do you see in using standards in your instruction?
The greatest standard that I see is by using and being able to refer to specific standards, our Common Core standards, you can translate these to our purpose statements, which are stated on the board each day based on what it is that we want the kids to learn, and that means really, really clear expectations, and it allows me to be able to go back and check before the end of class to make sure that every kid understands that what we did that day. That's what I really love about it.
We're observing the difference between physical and chemical changes.
Awesome. Can you give me an example of a physical change?
An example would be if you rip a piece of paper, it will still be paper. It can't change form.
Awesome. What's an example of a chemical change?
If it dissolves or breaks down chemicals or something, it will be a chemical change.
In standards-based system, it's really about the child owning the standards and working towards proficiency. It's about that growth of the child and getting them to what they need best. And if they've met proficiency, it's how to take them farther. And if they haven't met proficiency, how you can scaffold that learning. So it's a crystal clear target for students to be able to use, to own, and to empower their thinking.
On the epigenetics writing assignment for Mrs. Severson's AP Psych class, I knew that I had to go above and beyond what we learned in class and give examples from research that I have done myself.
Not only did she have to know the knowledge that Ms. Severson taught her, but she also put the extra time in studying out of class, let's say on Google and researching stuff.
So do you feel like it's pretty clear what you need to do to get a certain score in Ms. Severson's class?
I do, yeah. I do too.
She gave us a rubric that clearly outlined what we needed to do for each grade level.
So students are going to continue to receive a letter grade on their report card. So as they see now, an A, B, C, D, that's what they'll continue to see on that. And it'll be reported in the same way for transcripts for the high school. When students and parents look at grades through Skyward, that's when they're going to see the difference. They're going to see scores like a 1, 2, 2.5, 3, or a 4 on classroom assignments. These proficiency-based scores give students more specific feedback exactly what they need to be doing and working on, and it demonstrates their understanding of what they were taught and how they were assessed. Students can use this information along with the proficiency scales their teachers have provided for them to know exactly what they must do to improve their learning.
One of the benefits that I have heard from the standards-based learning process is actually a grading example. Standards-based grading implementation has occurred for the first time officially this year, and I spoke with a teacher in our building who had a very good conversation about an assessment with the student. The student received a 2.5, which is approaching proficiency on that standard. The teacher challenged the student to see him about the score, and the student did. They had a very productive conversation about why the student received the 2.5, but an even better conversation about how the student could have gotten to the 3.0 and the 4.0 score. The feedback was narrowed to the standard being taught, and both the student and the teacher felt more clear on how much was actually known about that standard.
If I understand the standards for us, like what I need help on and what he can help me with and stuff.
What are some of the standards that you feel comfortable with already?
The graphic design and like making sure, like finding places where they fit and stuff and how things go together.
Are there any that you feel like you could use a little more practice or work on?
The measuring makes me really nervous, but with a little help I'll probably get better at it.